representative of Michael Chan's abs. That's right, you heard me. I am one of Michael Chan, the prime Michael Chan's abs.
Whoa, what is going on? My abs are...
Shut up!
Oh, okay.
Listen, we are sick and tired of being dragged into this fight. We want nothing to do with all this doppelganger nonsense, okay? We're so sick of this. Why do all the doppelgangers keep focusing on their abs? Look at us. Michael never even cares about us. He hasn't done anything to make us visible. He's always just eating, and now we're covered in a layer of freaking fat.
Hey, man. Yeah, I'm a representative of Michael Chan's fat, and I think it's really, really, really insensitive of you to be talking about all of us, the Michael Chan fat cells, as some kind of negative, okay? Like, body positivity, man. You can't just say things like,
you shut up to...
Okay.
Listen, no more abs, okay? No more abs, no more coming on the Hellbound Podcast and talk about abs. We're sick of abs. Even though we're abs, but we're sick of hearing about it. Stop it. And now, enjoy the freaking podcast or whatever.
Welcome to the Hellbound Podcast. How do you turn this thing off? All right, there you go. Nope, it's not off. Not up. I'm Michael Chan. Yes, I'm from Star Trek Discovery. I'm an actor. Alex, who are you?
I'm Alex
After
Blackburn.
I told them.
I'm Alex Blackburn, the founder of the Hellbound Podcast, and the founder of the Hellbound Podcast with Michael Chan, and the founder of the Hellbound Horror Festival, which is coming straight back at you at the 1st of August.
So today, I am eating because I'm in a rush, which is why this episode might be shorter than usual, but I'm having a nice Taiwanese pork rice bowl from Mabu Generation over in Markham, Ontario, Canada. Look up Mabu, M-A-B-U Generation. Amazing food here. Like, oh my god. Now, you can't see this on the screen, Alex, and on the screen you only see rice and pork, but it came with like an egg, it came with vegetables, and I already ate all that. So now I'm down to the pork and sauce and rice, and it's just so good. But the reason why I was in a rush was because I had to get my wife to the dentist, and then that went long, and then as we're coming back, my Michael Chan doppelgangers kind of stopped my car on top of train tracks. So there was this whole epic, like, trying to get out of the car thing going on. But then, Alex, thank you so much for flying in with your Iron Man suit and pushing my car off of the tracks after we got out, thus saving me, some insurance headaches. I really appreciate you flying over from the UK. And now you have somehow flown at supersonic speed back to the UK and are on Zoom with me, and I appreciate that.
Anytime. I'll send you the bill in the post. We have your wonderful wife to thank for... I'm not being sarcastic. Jessica Chan for suggesting this last week's movie to watch, because it was a debate between Maximum Overdrive and was it Black Satan, I think it was, and
Sunday?
Black Sunday, that's it. So yeah, it ended up being a choice, a mutual choice, and the fan vote was Maximum Overdrive.
Yep.
I think.
Do you want to first tell the audience what this movie is kind of about?
I'm going to read this off some notes on it. Maximum Overdrive is a 1986 American comedy horror film written and directed by Stephen King. That's all you should need to know, really. And it stars Emilio Estevez, Pat Hingle, Laura Harrington, and Yeardley Smith, who has a fantastic podcast about murder. And it was loosely inspired by Stephen King's short story called Trucks. And yeah, what did you think of this movie, Mike?
It's okay. As I understand it, this is Stephen King's first crack at directing, correct?
Yeah, I think so. I will.
Yeah, so he clearly was high when he did this?
Yeah, because
Because this is the most insane. Well, okay, not most. I've seen worse, but for Stephen King, for something from him, I and mind you, I loved it. I loved every moment of it, but it was just pure insanity and chaos, and it's hard to talk about it other than to say like it's just my brain melted, but in a good way, through the entire process. And I wish kind of I was on like I don't know mushrooms or something when I was watching this because that would have made the experience. Don't take drugs, kids. Don't take drugs. Drugs are bad. Never mind. Ignore what I said. I was about to like change to drink something, but alcoholism is bad too. So eat a lot of chocolate. Get yourself hyper.
yeah,
Yeah.
because this film,
right there.
he must have been on something when he made when
It
he
had
wrote
to have
this.
been. It was nuts.
And possibly even when he was directing the movie as well. Like the worrying thing is, as soon as you see, I think the opening shot or the opening scene is him at an ATM machine.
Yep, he actually makes an appearance right at the start.
Yeah, and this is almost like a brain fart of a version of the Fog. So instead of pirates, it's trucks, where they're there for a period of time.
Technically machines.
Machines, sorry, yeah. And it
No.
really went over another cliff as soon as an American army vehicle turns up with a machine gun on a pole. And
Yep.
it was just, completely ridiculous. If I'd have watched this in the 80s or when I was a child, maybe on a repeat or something, I may have liked this. I may have really loved this and fell in love with this, but
You didn't?
no, never. This is the first time I watched it. It was a couple of nights
No,
ago.
I meant you didn't like it?
I liked certain elements of it. There was a bit of a John Carpenter vibe of people banding together, but a lot of the people are assholes in this film. And if I don't like the characters, I think only Emilio Estevez and Laura Harrington's character that I liked.
Really? The husband was great. I was rooting for him. I didn't even care about Emilio Estevez. It's the guy who's the husband who, like, I don't know if you noticed at the beginning of the movie, because he's like really scrawny. He's not the tallest. He's not the toughest. He's in a suit. I mean, he just got married. And here he is. And even when he's like running, he has this kind of like really floppy armed, like weak run. And he becomes like essentially an action hero.
Yeah.
And dude, he's married to the actress who plays his wife is like Lisa Simpson. Right, the voice actor for like the whole. Actually, I love those two. I love that was the storyline and the story arc and the characters I was rooting for. But I don't know. I just enjoyed it because literally it was so crazy that I realized I didn't even need to think or care.
Yeah,
I just needed to enjoy the chaos. And it was great because I've been so busy and so exhausted lately that I just needed something like that just to laugh at for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, just to allow your brain to melt.
Now, did you know that Giancarlo Esposito's in this? You know who that is?
Yes, he's the short guy. He's in. Yes, he's the guy in the arcade room.
That's right, and
The
he's
entertainment
he's
Yeah.
Moff Gideon
Gus
in The
Fring.
Mandalorian, right?
Gus Fring.
And he's Gus Fring from Breaking Bad. And
I love that
This is
scene.
a
I
very
love that
young
scene.
him. It's a very young him in a bit part in an arcade room. You won't even recognize him really, unless and then like literally it was in the credits, and we're like, wait, what? And we had to go back and then like kind of look at his face on the screen. We're like, no, and then we had to go online to look it up just to make sure.
Yeah,
And yeah, that was him. It was a very young him. No matter how against horrible, badly made movies you are, go watch VelociPastor. It's about a priest who can transform into a velociraptor to fight bad people. And it is real. So my best friend Bianco, my best buddy, my bromigo, and I are very much into looking up some of the worst horror films we could possibly find, and then just sitting there and laughing our butts off. Which is why Maximum Overdrive is right up my alley.
Yeah.
But VelociPastor is next level. If any of you wonder how on earth Maximum Overdrive got made after you watched it, I mean, even though it's Stephen King, so maybe that's why it got made. Watch VelociPastor and ask yourself the question: how did these people get funding? See, I'm a filmmaker. Katisha Shaw, my other best friend, and we're filmmakers. We started our own production company, and it is so freaking hard to get funding, to get distribution. Like, it is a lot of work. Yet somehow, our movies, which are, I would like to honestly, without boasting, say are have better scripts than VelociPastor, are having trouble getting funding. Yet VelociPastor, which, by the way, is awesome, mind you, watch it. Just don't expect Oscar stuff. Just watch it. But it got funding. It got distribution. It's everywhere.
Yeah, I've just read this quote: "God wants a lot of people dead," and it's VelociPastor battles ninjas. Oh my god.
Yep. There are ninjas. There are special effects that they couldn't afford anymore, so they had a placeholder at one point, and they left it in the film.
Does he actually turn into Velociraptor?
Yeah, he turns into but dude, it's like rubber hands. It's clearly rubber gloves, and his head is stupid, and it's so good. Look, man, like, if you're okay, for our audience, if you're not into stuff like this, don't watch it. Don't watch that or Maximum Overdrive. Like, you have to have a specific type of sense of humor, and I have that. That's like my kind of thing. Like, so bad it's good kind of movies, not just horror. Like, anything that's so bad it's good, I will love, just because it just makes me laugh. It just fills me with joy. And you can tell that usually people are having so much fun. Like, think of Psycho Goreman. Now, Psycho Goreman, mind you, is so much better than these two movies. But still, it's ludicrous. It's a ludicrous film, right? And I mean, I would recommend Psycho Goreman any day. Between the three, I would recommend Psycho Goreman over them, over VelociPastor and Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah.
But seriously, like, just terrible, horrible movies that are just too hilarious not to pass up. And just think of it this way. It's more of like a social experience, right? When it's so bad it's bad, that's no good. But when it's so bad it's good, you're talking about it forever. You may not watch it ever again, but you'll be talking about it with people forever. You'll be laughing about it with your friends that you watched it with.
That's true.
That's what makes it good. And that's why Maximum Overdrive is epic. Because I know I'll never stop talking about it with my wife.
Yeah. And I do like the gratuitous deaths in it, and the set pieces and the actual production. I thought it was really, there are elements of entertainment in it. I do love terrible movies like Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
But it's there were I'd say large parts of it I really liked, and then there were some things that I really didn't. But yeah, I would recommend it because of the very reason that you like it. That's why I'd recommend
Seriously?
it.
Oh my goodness. We're getting a double recommendation on a movie that you didn't actually like that much.
So my wife wouldn't agree with me because she was watching it. I really hated it.
Did Vicky enjoy it?
No, Vicky. Well, she was doing some work-related stuff at the time, and she kept looking up.
Okay.
And it's not like you need to pay full attention to this movie. But
No,
I've
really,
got to say,
you don't need to.
Now you mentioned the Yardley Smith and her husband's character in that. They were a brilliant duo, the two of them. They were fantastic together. I love how there's elements of it where I won't say why, but there's a bunch of weapons become available halfway through the film.
Yes.
And like most of them, apart from the one that's effective, are completely useless. And yeah, the refilling the petrol or the gas if you're in the US. That scene in particular stands out for me of how ridiculous this film is, and I do like how Emilio Estevez is. It's almost like the serious part in this.
Yeah, he acted pretty seriously. The only thing I will say about it that like is so nonsensical, it's just really like a glaring problem for me in this film is that so again the idea is that all tech, all mechanical things are affected, right? So you
Yeah,
have these trucks, you have electric hand saws, and early on you see cars with their lights flickering on and off. Yet somehow, after that one moment where you see cars flick like their lights on and off, cars somehow are no longer affected anymore. People are driving them everywhere, and the
yeah,
cars aren't turning on them. So it was the one thing. I will knock it for that. I don't even care that I'm spoiling it, but that is the one thing. Somehow cars are okay. Everything else that's tech is not.
yeah,
Even though there's a contradictory scene
yeah,
showing that cars are affected. And
yeah, yeah.
this will make you upset if you notice it, and now that I told you, you will, but it made me go, why no, God, Stephen King, dude, come on, you can't cheat like that.
Yeah, my wife's favorite moment was the carver, the knife on the counter where the woman's
Yep,
cooking.
yeah, I alluded to that earlier. Yeah,
Yeah, that's really effective. And
that was a really
um,
good scene.
yeah, I've got to say, in terms of direction, if you look past the shortcomings or not to some people like yourself, there are scenes in terms of the direction that I think it was pretty well executed. Like banding together, getting the different characters together, and it must be really interesting to wonder what his direction's like as a style. Stephen King, considering this is his first movie. But yeah, I really like the set pieces, like the chap that's stuck on the other side of the fence.
Yeah,
The guy that's giving the lift to that girl at the beginning, and he's in a really bad spot, and he really gets brutalized, and that's something that's very, very Stephen King. He's like, yeah, this is how I'm going to destroy that person. He gives people short shrift, and he will completely decimate someone. That's clearly right out of his writing, out of his brain. But yeah, a very unique movie this week, and yeah, I would recommend it. Even though he's not a huge fan of it, I'd still recommend it because it is crazy, absolutely crazy.
yes. So go watch it, and VelociPastor.
And VelociPastor.
Are you enjoying the latest season of Star Trek Picard? I'm not caught up, but I heard there's time travel.
With shows like that, I am doing the stupid thing of waiting until it's all complete as a season. I know can be a mistake because people put out spoilers far too often
That is true.
and ruin things left, right, and center. But I'm waiting for that because we're going to have a weekend of watching all of that. I am really looking forward to it because of Q's back as John DeLacy.
Yeah.
Huge fan of his. I think he's brilliant. And I just want to see what the conversation's like about him making himself look old, or there's reasoning for that. He's just probably making Picard more comfortable. But I am looking forward to that a lot.
Wait, did you watch Discovery season 4 week by week?
No, I've not seen any of it yet.
Okay. Well, it is available to binge in full on Paramount Plus. Yes, I'm advertising CBS. Pay me. I'm kidding. Don't pay me. Just put me in the next season.
That would be epic. That would be. I'm really looking forward to that. I know what you've not completely spoiled what the reasoning for your character or exactly where he pops up, but I'm really looking forward to Mike, and yeah, that's going to be awesome when I see you on the big screen. But yeah, I think that was an interesting movie, Maximum Overdrive, and what should we watch next week? What have you got anything kind of what you're thinking of?
I guess we'll watch Black Sunday.
Black Sunday, and that is available on Shudder. That I
Hey,
think,
this man.
yeah, come on as a sponsor, that'd be great. But yeah, Black Sunday is available on Shudder, and it's a brilliant movie. I'm not going to say anything else about it. It is absolutely fantastic. But I recommend that. But I haven't seen it for a long while, so I think there's possibly a dubbed version. And don't worry about watching that. The dubbing is very, very good. I think I mentioned that before, but the dubbing is very, very good on it. Because I think it's an Italian movie, but it's absolutely brilliant.
Well, I hope everyone that went to Star Trek Mission Chicago had a very good time. Just want to say that I really enjoyed seeing all of your videos and photos that you posted on TikTok and Instagram. I'm really thankful that that Star Trek has amazing fans like all of you. Makes someone like myself, who now am part of the universe, who doesn't, because I'm in Canada and I'm not traveling, so I don't get to go to these types of things. Makes me really happy just to see the amount of love there is out there for Trek. So thank you guys. You really made my weekend. I spent a lot of free time in between, taking care of my kids and doing auditions, just scrolling through your stuff. So hopefully one of these days I'll be able to see all of you at a Star Trek mission.
Probably put you in touch with or speak to my the previous judges, Nerd OD from the. They were judges in the first year of the Isolation Film Festival. They would, I think, love to have you on their podcast, Michael. So,
oh, cool! Yeah,
I'll speak to
for
them.
Sure.
Because they act as compares, and they do some of the talks at Wales Comic Con, and they were there last week. So shout out to Nerd OD. So they do a lot of the panel stuff over there, and they were our judges for our first festival. That how Michael and I first met each other for the Isolation Film Festival. So I highly recommend that as another show. I don't know why I'm recommending another podcast, but yeah, Nerd OD, they're great guys.
Well, we got to support the community.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
like I'm now going to give a shout out to the Mader brothers, who own Live Long and Podcast, which is a podcast, network that I actually perform on in Star Trek Radio Theater. We just did a live episode the other day, and they have all sorts of different Star Trek podcasts that they do. They also have like trivia podcasts, Big Brother podcasts, just lots and lots of stuff. Also, there is a podcast called Look Hooters of Trek by Davin Skellhorn, his partner Dave. It's another great Trek podcast to listen to.
What's that one about? Is it just Borg episodes?
No. It's just they talk about Trek in general.
Right. Okay.
I know. They stuck their logo's cool. They stuck a microphone on top of Deep Space Nine, like the space station, like in the center.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's really cool. Also, since all of my recommendations so far have not been horror related, I don't know if any of you have heard of Welcome to Night Vale. It's actually my favorite podcast, horror podcast, or any podcast really. It's my absolute favorite. It's set up like one of those community radio networks, just for a small town, where they announce like birthdays and community events and the weather and the traffic and all that. Except there's something kind of off about this little town in the middle of a desert. Something almost Lovecraftian happening. A little bit of crazy. A little bit of cosmic horror. For example, they have a dog park, but no dogs are allowed in there. There are no dogs. No people really. Just a bunch of hooded figures,
That sounds
chanting
awesome.
around a spire. But check out Welcome to Night Vale. It is absolutely amazing. They've been going on for years. I've gone to one of their live shows and had a blast. Check out Welcome to Night Vale.
And how can people get in touch with us, Michael?
Well, to get in touch with us, we are on Instagram. Our handle is at the Hellbound Podcast. Now, if you have any cosplays, makeup, music videos, or anything else that you want to show off on social media and want us to feature, just send us a private message and we will do that. So again, that's the Hellbound Podcast. Plus, however you listen to us, if you're enjoying what you're listening to and haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to us or following us on your podcast app or platform. If there's the ability to give us a review, please give us a 5 stars out of 5, 10 out of 10, 5 out of 7, which is a perfect score. No, it's not, but seriously, just give us a perfect score. What it does is helps us get featured on the front page or front section of the app or platform. It gets us more listeners, and over time will help us be able to build this podcast up for all of you. So yeah, thank you very much for that. And as always, harness the darkness.